Yeah, I think, our depth really showed well. The second half, they only had 13 yards total offense. So, it was 3 and out a lot. And, but that's what you need to have a good team. You need guys because there's going to be guys banged up during the season. We had that last year. And so it's good to see our younger guys playing.
How much more do you think you can improve from a year ago? You were number 2 total defense in NFL. How do you motivate these young players to where they're going to go for this upcoming season?
Right. This year our goal really is to start out where we finished. The last 2, not just the regular season, but the last 2 games of the year in the playoffs, we probably were playing as good as anybody, and we wanted to try to start out that way this year. We learned a lot as we went along during the season. We got better as we went along during the season, and I thought we played really well in the playoffs, and we'd like to start right there and go from there. So. And this was a step towards that. We played a good offensive team early that we played well against.
Dad and I were talking a little bit before about your defense and how it puts guys in a position to succeed, and it's simplistic. Did that being your last year, your first year in Houston, being last year where it was an abbreviated off season? I mean, are you able to install more, or is it just kind of the same thing as it was last year, even with a regular off season?
Well, we try to keep it, simple. It's not a simple game, Dad can tell you. There's so many formations and motions and things that they can do. But we try to make it player-friendly, where they can learn it fast, where they can use their ability. And then we try to fit it to certain players. J.J. Watt is one. I mean, last year we played him, started playing technique with him, and then we said, hey, we need to stunt this guy more. And we did that with him, and he's more effective. So you learn more about players. Jonathan Joseph is such a good cover guy that we let him play the best receiver no matter where he lined up, and zone or man, so they can't tell whether you're in zone or man. But he flipped with that. So things like that you learn about the players. It's guys that can rush good. Cushing can rush good from an inside backer standpoint, so we rushed him quite a bit. So that's part of the process.
It's the Ari and Minnix Show, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, live at Houston Texans training camp. And right out of the gate, Texans defensive coordinator Wade Phillips joining us. And you mentioned J.J. Watt. Last year as a rookie came in, had such a phenomenal season. This year, obviously high expectations for him. Last year at the beginning of the year, Antonio Smith had an explosive start to the season until Williams went down. With Mario gone, J.J. Watt emerges. Are you expecting another big year from Antonio Smith?
Yeah, Antonio had probably his best season last year, they said, and his sack total certainly was. But he's a quick pass rush, penetrating guy, and that's what we try to do with him. And again, you learn more about the players. It's not what we can think of coaching-wise, what they can do. And so we try to let him loose quite a bit. He's a natural pass rusher, so we're going to try to utilize that with him.
With your track record, Coach, you always have been so good with those new players that you draft. The Sean Merriman, the Anthony Spencers, those rookie J.J. Watts a year ago. Who is the one that's sticking out this year? Who's you excited to watch? That I can't wait to get him on the field.
Well, Merciless, Whitney Merciless, he had a sack and a half in the first game. He led the nation last year in sacks at 16. He led the nation in caused fumbles last year, and he led the nation in tackles for loss. So I don't know that I'm doing a whole lot with him. But he's shown he's got the ability, and so I was glad to see him have a good start, even though it was a preseason game.